The issue of introducing foreign troops into Ukrainian territory has become one of the most discussed topics among the allied countries. In particular, British Prime Minister Keir Starmer announced the country's readiness to send its troops to Ukrainian territory if a peace agreement is signed. Similar statements have been made in Turkey and Ireland. And according to the Wall Street Journal, there is already a plan to deploy troops in specific cities in Ukraine. In an interview with Glavred, military expert, veteran of the Russian-Ukrainian war, Reserve Major of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Alexey Getman, spoke about whether 30,000 troops of NATO member countries in Ukraine will scare Russia, why the US is discussing the withdrawal of troops from European territory, and whether the EU will be able to cope without American help. There were even discussions about where they could be deployed. 3 cities were named: Dnipro, Poltava and Kryvyi Rog. Not bad. Of course, 30,000 peacekeepers will not be able to ensure peacekeeping along the entire front line. At least 10 times more are needed. But, for a start, this would be very good. And it is nice that it is Great Britain that is initiating this process. Why is it nice? Because usually the traditions that exist in this kingdom force people who make certain statements to stick to their words. In other countries, it is different. I am not saying that other countries lie all the time, but when the Prime Minister of the King of Great Britain says something, usually it is actually carried out. Alexey Getman added, "The decision has not yet been made, but this issue is being actively considered. Any road, even the longest one, begins with the first step. At the end of last year, talk about peacekeepers was rather sluggish. Now they are discussing not just the idea itself, but specific cities and the number of personnel. This means that there is movement in this direction. Whether it will develop and how it will end is difficult to predict. So far, the trend is that peacekeepers may appear. Will these be only British peacekeepers, or will other countries join them? I would like the contingent to be larger, so that other countries are involved. But active work by Ukrainian diplomacy is needed here, and I think that diplomats are currently doing this. Will the Russians make provocations? Let them do so, but this will already be a provocation against Great Britain. Attacking peacekeepers is a violation of international law, and Britain's response could be very serious. This is not necessarily a military strike against the Russian Federation, although why not? If there is an attack on British troops after that, what do you think Britain will do? Obviously, it will strike back. The Russians understand this perfectly well. In addition, Britain has nuclear weapons as well as the forces and means to strike, for example, the Kremlin. Do they need it? I think not, he said.
U.S. President Donald Trump's dispute with the Ukrainian president has also been met with great discontent among ordinary Americans, who have begun to express greater support for the Ukrainian people and President Zelensky. One of them is American veteran, and he recorded an emotional video. In the video, he praises Zelensky and says he is fighting against Russian occupation. This man is fighting for his country. A sovereign state has been attacked. People are dying. And all they care about is why didn't Zelensky wear a suit? I hate this country. I have never felt the way I do in my life, he said. At the same time, the war veteran emphasizes that Zelensky deserves all respect. He also notes that Trump's actions are shameful. Recall, Zelensky, Trump, and Vice President Vance met earlier on Friday in the White House Oval Office for what was expected to be the formal signing of a minerals agreement between Washington and Kiev. However, the meeting descended into a verbal spat after Trump told Zelensky that he would have to negotiate peace with Russia. Zelensky argued that Russian President Vladimir Putin cannot be trusted and insisted that the U.S. should continue supporting his country, prompting Trump to accuse him of ungratefulness and an unwillingness to negotiate an end to the conflict.
This man is fighting for his country. A sovereign nation got invaded. His people were dying. And this motherfucker talks about him wearing a suit. I hate this fucking country. I've never in my life felt like I do right now. I don't give a fuck what he wears. This man has been respectful to every leader in the world. Everybody. And you clowns want to fucking do that shit to him when he comes over here. And then talk to him like shit and kick him out of the White House. You fucking disgraceful son of a bitches. Man, I just want to be next to Zelenski right now. I wish I could talk to him. Forgive us. God damn, man, I can't. Sorry, y'all. I can't believe what I just witnessed in our White House.